Congress will never do it itself. We have the ability through the states to impose that on Congress, and that's going to make a big difference. You should go, serve for a limited amount of time, and then live under the laws that should pass. I think people would probably approach things a little bit different. Second thing, many states have it. Florida's one. There's others that do. And I would say that Florida's production is much better than the states that do not have it. Second reform is a requirement for a balanced budget at the federal level. We have that in Florida. We have to balance our budget every year, so you know going in that you have to get this done. You can't just put it on the credit card. Right now, the incentives are to put things on the credit card. That's the path of least resistance. That's how these guys stay in office longer. And who ends up with the bill? Well, it's future generations. And 34 trillion, 35, I don't know when the breaking point is, but at some point there is going to be a breaking point. And so why not rein in the big spenders, force them to make decisions? Most states have balanced budget requirements. There's no reason why the federal government should not as well. Third thing is you should give the president what I have as governor and what many governors have, a line item veto. If they put a massive spending bill on the president's desk, you should be able to veto individual line items. Just think how much pork you would be able to veto out of there. You could save hundreds of billions of dollars just by giving that line item veto. And so that's something that was actually passed in statute back in the 1990s. It was overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. They basically said you had to do it through constitutional amendment. So we're now proposing this line item veto be done in a constitutional reform. And then finally, we want an amendment that says very simply that Congress shall make no law respecting the citizens of the United States that does not also apply to members of Congress themselves. They should not be able to exempt themselves. They should not be able to function as a separate ruling class. And so the good thing about all those reforms is, it's not Republican, Democrat, Independent. I mean, if you ask people, should there be term limits for Congress, you get support across the board. Republican, Democrat, Independent, male, female, black, white, it doesn't matter. People believe that you should have term limits. If they say, should they have to balance the budget like Florida and other states, most people are going to say yes. Should they be able to exempt themselves from laws? No, of course not. People will say that. I remember when they did it on Obamacare, and even when Biden did the executive order on the COVID vax mandate, they exempted Congress from that, and you just think to yourself, give me a break. So these are really good reforms. It's using the tools that the Founding Fathers gave us to be able to reclaim this government for we the people. Because on our current course, I don't think you're going to see very good changes absent changing the incentives. And so these are the types of reforms I think the Founding Fathers would have looked kindly on. They recognized that states needed to be able to make these proposals because there was going to be times when the nation's capital was not going to be willing to reform itself.